Ladies and gentlemen, we have a really cool video for you today. Just like the last couple we made on core and cover guides, Roto has officially released theirs. Well, unofficially. It was shown by Chad McLean on Instagram, so very unofficial at the end of the day. He works at Storm, and this is an actual Roto official one, but not through Roto channels. A little bit weird, but let's get into the actual content quick. So, if you guys want to see the other ball guides or the other core and cover guides, make sure to go check my channel out. Otherwise, drop a subscription so that when we have more of these videos go live, you can be the first to see what they all entail. Let's get right into it though. We have a Rotogrip cover and core strength chart, and we have the covers, and then we have the cores on the right. Covers on the left, cores on the right. Now, what Rotogrip did different that Motive and Storm did not do is they actually separated things based on solids, hybrids, and pearls. They did still do top down, strongest is at the top, weakest is at the bottom, except they actually split them between solids, hybrids, pearls. Very cool thing. It doesn't change anything at the end of the day, which is a-okay. That's fine. It's very, very cool though. On the cover side, they actually show, or the core side, they actually show the RG of the bowling ball, and they do confirm that all they are doing when comparing the cores is putting them lowest RG to highest RG, and then they're going asymmetrical to symmetrical. They're splitting them up a lot. Very, very cool thing to do because a symmetrical ball rolls very different than an asymmetrical ball. But let's get right into it. We're going to start on the left side. What I did is I included all of the currently made Rotogrip bowling balls. I also included two that were recently discontinued in the last 6-ish months. So we have everybody's baby, the Rotogrip Gem, which also includes the Magic Gem and the Exotic Gem in there. They're all identical cover stocks, just solid hybrid pearl and the same exact cores. And then also on here, we added the TNT Infused. That was the ball that got discontinued last from Rotogrip Bowling. That one was kind of not well liked, but we did include it on here to really have a full arsenal, a full showing of Rotogrip bowling balls because they don't have many in production right now. I believe the number was 6 that they have in production at this moment. Very interesting from Rotogrip. I thought they'd have a few more. But let's get into it. Starting from the top, most aggressive cover stocks, we have Hyper Response and Hyper X and Hyper Response again. These are cover stocks that are not in production right now. These are cover stocks that we do not use currently. I believe they're on overseas equipment right now, and they might have been on some stuff in the far past. But really, Rotogrip's strongest cover stock is generally Microtrax. Microtrax is number 4 and 5 on the list. So I can't get my arrow correct. Microtrax plus solid and Microtrax solid. So Microtrax solid is what we're going to focus on. That is what is on the Gem and the RST Hyperdrive. Both of those do have that Microtrax solid cover stock on it. That is currently the strongest cover stock from Rotogrip Bowling. Now, unfortunately, we do not know how these compare to, say, the Ion Max's cover stock or the Harsh Reality cover stock. These are all separated Storm, Rotogrip, 900 Global. Little disappointing, but we're going to work with what we have. That is the strongest cover stock on the list. Moving next, now, we did include the Optimum Idol Pearl, number 3 on the list. Now, the Optimum Idol Pearl is a pearl bowling ball. That's going to come near the bottom of the list. What I am doing for this listing from top down is I just have their base cover stock formula. I exclude if it's solid, hybrid, or pearl because we did that for the previous guide, so I wanted to keep consistency going. Microtrax on the Optimum Idol Pearl, very, very strong. Same exact cover stock formula as the Gem and the Hyperdrive, just solid versus pearl. This really showcases the differences between solid and pearl cover stocks and how much impact the core makes, because the Optimum Pearl rolls nothing like the OG Gem. But let's keep going. We have the Rockstar on here. We have that brand new cover stock, the Nano Star Solid cover stock, which is a combination of Microtrax and E-Trax. As we see on here, Microtrax is 5th-ish on the list. E-Trax is near the bottom. E-Trax Solid is close to the bottom of the list. So Nanostar is about right in the middle, leans a little more towards Microtrax, something very good to note. And that is what the Rockstar has on it. A little bit weaker than the Optimum Idol Solid, but still pretty strong on the list. Moving next is the Rotogrip XL. The XL has a super strong cell core. However, the cover stock is just E-Trax, and E-Trax is very low on the list. I believe it might be E-Trax Plus, and E-Trax Plus is below that Optitrax and Nanostar and Extreme Trax we haven't seen in a hot minute. But E-Trax Plus below E-Trax Solid, but above regular E-Trax. These are a lot of words that probably don't make much sense right now. There are a lot of E-Trax, Microtrax, and a bunch of other tracks getting thrown all over the place. But that is where the XL is. The TNT Infused comes in after. Now, this was a hybrid bowling ball. So technically it would be lower if we mark it as a hybrid. It would be on the bottom of the list, of course. But that does have E-Tracks on it. I believe that one also has E-Tracks Plus on it. But then we get down to the stars, the Attention Star S2 and the OG Attention Star. These have just regular E-Tracks, one of the weaker cover stocks now from Roto Grip. The S2 is the hybrid. The regular Attention Star is the Pearl. They are actually the weakest covers on the list, which is interesting if you look over to the core side of it, where they are some of the strongest cores on the list. Very, very funny thing to note here. Very kind of cool, the core and cover distribution and the difference there. But some other ones we have on the list that we haven't seen in a long time, VTC. VTC Plus and VTC Solid. These are ones that are on the Hustle series, and they were on the Hyped series when those were out last. Otherwise, any of the HP2 bowling balls. Rotogrip doesn't have weak bowling balls right now. The weakest ball on this list is the TNT Infused, but after that, it's the Rockstar, which is weird, and I would love to see a new weaker bowling ball from Rotogrip, but it doesn't sound like one's coming for quite a while. They don't do as well sales-wise, and they also don't get as much return on investment for those, so that's why you don't really see them in the lineup right now. But if we did, they would be near the bottom of the list. Otherwise, interesting ones, if you go down to Pearl, we have the Tourthane and the High Impact Pearl. Those are not in production right now. Those are urethane-like cover stocks, but otherwise Rotogrip has never had a true urethane. They're the only one of the Storm Products brands that has never had a urethane ball since, well, actually since the Hot Cell. The Hot Cell was the only one, and that was a steaming pile of garbage for most people. But looking at it, this is every basic cover stock from Rotogrip. Rotogrip is honestly the easiest of the Storm Products brands to differentiate because you always know Microtrax is strongest, E-Trax is next, VTC is weakest. They've had that lineup going for like 10 years or so, maybe more. And they really haven't switched from it. They've had little additives, you know, you'll have Nanostar and the Rockstar, or you'll have Microtrax Plus or E-Trax Plus, things like that. But the cover guide is honestly much easier for Rotogrip bowling. So what I would recommend is look at all of your Rotogrip bowling balls and put them on the list. See where they actually line up on categorically, and see how that fits compared to where you see the bowling balls fitting in your game. Which, on that, we're going to move over to the core side of things. So the cores from top down are strongest to weakest, and we have all of them, all of the bowling balls that we had on the left side, all current Rotogrip balls plus 2 extras from strongest to weakest. Strongest on the list, the strongest cover stock that Rotogrip has made in a long time is that Gem Defiant LRG core. Sorry, I keep saying cover and core, mixing them up, but the Gem core is the strongest core we've seen from Roto in a very, very long time. That is top of the list. That's why the Gem was one of the earliest hooking bowling balls on the market while it was still in production. Moving on, we have the Momentous AV plus AI core, and that core is actually the Attention Star core. So you will notice on here something very interesting. We have Momentous core, and we have Momentous AV plus AI core. So they actually have differentiations on the AI versions, like Nucleus plus AI or RST plus AI versus just regular RST. Very good thing to note. They actually differentiate AI cores versus not. So next, with the Attention Stars, we have Momentous AV plus AI core is the next second strongest core in the lineup. Very, very surprising. I honestly thought the Cell bowling ball was going to be stronger, but what do I know, I guess? That one is a little bit weaker. Moving on, we have the Rondour core. That was on the Rubicon series, but then we have the Momentous core, and then we have the Nucleus core. Finally, the Nucleus plus AI core. Very, very strong core, but not even close to strongest on the list. It's only 4th. Very, very crazy that that is only 4th. That was the strongest ball Rotogrip made for a long time. So they are amping up how strong their cores truly are in the last couple of years. But then after the XL is the RST plus the AI core. That is by far one of the longest down lane reactions for an asymmetrical ball on the market with that high of an RG. And that's what we're kind of seeing out of that RST hyperdrive. Really strong cover. The core is strong, but it wants to hook late. It wants to be sharper or rollier, I guess, technically, but it wants to be late, which is very interesting. And then we move on to the symmetric bowling balls. Now they did, like I said, they split up asymmetrics and symmetric. So what I did is asymmetrical cores came out on top. They generally do hook earlier, and then symmetrical cores on bottom. Only 3 symmetrical cores on the market. Well, 2 symmetrical cores on the market for Rotogrip. And then I added in the TNT Infused. Earliest one on the list, the Icon plus AI core, that is the Idle core. The Icon core has been around for a long time. AI tech and the optimal idle ball, so that is the earliest on the list. Moving on, we have the Rocker core, Rocker plus AI, which is the bottom of the Rockstar, which is the Rockstar core. So it's a little bit later, little bit weaker than the Idle core, something very good to note. And it is really what makes sense in our heads that the Rockstar is indeed weaker than the Optimum Idol. Don't let anyone tell you it's a one-to-one replacement. It's not even close. They are very different bowling balls. What I did is I included the TNT Infuse between the two because they actually removed the TNT core already. Very, very surprising. So I think the TNT series is fully wiped out. It's gone. It is done for good. So rest in peace, the TNT and the TNT Infused. We'll probably never see that core again. But that one did fit right in front of the rocker, but right after the Optimum Idol. So have that in mind if you have an OG TNT and you are one of the 7 people on the planet who actually liked the OG TNT. Or the Infused. The Infused should be later than the Optimum Idol Pearl. But there aren't many bowling balls on this list. Very surprising. Hopefully we see more Rotogrip bowling balls coming. Some guesses I'd have is we'd probably see another RST because that one seems to be doing really well right now. The Rockstar, we're guaranteed to see a Rockstar Pearl coming sometime soon, probably with a really cool name. I think the XL is really cool to have on this list. That is a very unique bowling ball, as you can tell. It is a strong ASIM, but it's in the middle of Rotogrip's chart. It's number 5 right now on their Coverstock guide and number 4 on their core guide. Very, very good thing to know. So what I would recommend is go grab all your Rotogrip balls, put them in a line and see where they all fit cover and core wise so that you can know where they truly should be. Because what this does is this helps you so that you don't need to know exactly what RG differential and intermediate differential do. You can just ignore all that. You can just go, all right, this is earliest, this is latest, and this is why it looks like that. You can even put number values to it if you wanted to. You could put a 10, or well, there aren't 10 bowling balls on here. We'll go, are there 8? 8 bowling balls. So gem is a number 8. You give it 8 points because it's earliest on the Coverstock guide. 7, 6, 5, 4, and so on. And then you give numbers on the other side too, so you can tell, well, the gem is at 16. That's easily the strongest ball. But the Attention Star S2 is at 2 and 7, so it's at 9. Very interesting. Remember too, cover stock accounts for more of the bowling ball motion than the core does. It's about 70% cover stock, 30% core. Keep that in the back of your head as you're looking through this. But otherwise, I really hope this information helps. It's something we really haven't had. It's very tough to get information like this. So Rotogrip, please, I would love to see more of these charts coming out in the future with new bowling ball releases so we don't have to guess where a bowling ball truly fits, so we can actually know what it is before we go and purchase it. Otherwise, I will have this guide along with many others on our YouTube membership. We're going to have all of our charts and graphs that we use for videos and for being able to determine where bowling balls fit out in our membership program. So I'd love if you go and join that. It's fairly cheap, and then you can get the link and be good to go. Otherwise, thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day. We will have a 900 global guide coming very, very soon, and I will see you on the next one.